Hello, my lovely friend, and welcome to the Soul Care Intuitive Podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Grubbs, and in this podcast, we're going to show you that you're not just ordinary, you're extraordinary. I never had any spiritual experiences as a child, and I did not discover my own psychic abilities until my late 30s. I love to share all that I have learned to show you that we all already have these skills inside of us, just screaming to be let loose. So if you're ready to awaken your soul, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hello, my lovely friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Soul Care Intuitive Podcast, where we talk all things spirituality, psychic, Reiki, mediumship, and more. I'm here to help you realize that you really are an extraordinary person, and none of us are simply ordinary, but we all have these magical intuitive abilities within us to heal our lives, to expand our souls, and to live in a way that we want to live, happy, healthy, and free. I'm so excited to have you here. I want to talk about what happens when you go through a spiritual awakening and the world around you has not. I don't feel like that's talked about enough. I don't feel like we explore that enough in the spiritual community. It's really hard. It's hard on your emotional well-being. It's hard on your mental health well-being, because while you are going through a spiritual awakening and you realize so many things that have been lied to us about, or things that you're capable of that we've always been told we're not, and the rest of the world hasn't gone through that spiritual awakening, it feels really isolating. It feels really lonely. And when you get the courage to start speaking about it, there's fear and judgment and attack. And I want to talk about that in this podcast today. How going through a spiritual awakening changes your life in so many beautiful and positive ways. And I'm so thankful for my awakening and what I have realized is the truth and what is not. But it is really hard when you don't have that support system, or you don't have friends and family around you or coworkers around you that have gone through an awakening and are still blind and following the herd of what we're told to do. They're still blind to the fact of how powerful we are and the energy of the world and the universe and what really happens. They have been stuck in, I want to use the word predatory. You can use whatever word you like. But I feel like the rest of the world is stuck in a predatory trance, if you will. They are stuck in believing everything they're fed and told. They're stuck in believing that you're just a human in this random experience. They're stuck in believing that you have to strive to pay bills and work so hard and give your life and yourself away to corporations and everything else, paying bills and all kinds of things that are just complete nonsense. Unfortunately, the structure of our world has been built upon this predatory trance of those in power, those in charge, wanting to keep it at all costs and wanting to keep you working and striving and believing that you're just this human and nothing more. And that's just not true. And after you go through a spiritual awakening, you realize more and more how untrue those things are. But it's really hard when you're awakening to that and those around you are not. It's isolating, it's fearful, it's scary. Sometimes you wish that you didn't go through the spiritual awakening and you can just go back into that predatory trance where everything feels and seems safe, even though it's not. I'm here to tell you that I'm so thankful for my spiritual awakening, what it brought me, what it taught me, what it showed me. But of course, it's so hard to continue to have to follow a system that was designed to hold you down and hold you back, while those in power know exactly how powerful our souls are and use that power to their advantage and try to tell you and teach you that you don't have that. When I was in my late 30s, okay, really I was almost 40, but let's go with the late 30s, I had this really profound spiritual awakening that just awoke me to so many amazing things. And the first 2 episodes of this podcast will explain my spiritual awakening, what happened to me, and how I came to be here. But I'm so thankful that I was awakened and can see what's really real. I can see the truth. I can see lies. I can see through all of that. But oh my God, it's really hard to be here when a huge majority of people don't have that awakening, or they don't feel that way, or they've been so brainwashed by the system to believe what they're told that they won't even try to go deeper. They won't even try to heal. A healing journey, a spiritual journey, for me, they're pretty much the same. When you go on a healing journey to holistically heal yourself from the inside out, and by holistically, I mean you're doing that deep dive, you're doing that shadow work, you're doing those journal prompts, you're sitting in your tears and you're letting them fall. You're ready to stop being burdened and blocked and move on with your life. Spiritual and holistic healing, it's really hard because those around you don't want to do any of that. They want to be told, this is what you're supposed to do because it makes them feel safe. They want to be told, you have to pay this bill. And they don't think outside that we are a soul having the most profound and beautiful experience. We're not here to be forced to work and be enslaved to pay bills. We're not here for that. But it's hard when you try to tell somebody that and they feel more security being controlled, and they want to stay in that controlled little bubble. And it's so hard because you just want to shake them and say, oh my God, wake up, please. This is not the way your life is supposed to be. Your soul is here to have magic and joy and beauty and freedom. Your soul is here to have experiences of magic, experiences of love. And that's just not what this world is, because it is controlled by predatory trances that are put on us. We're lied to in school. In school, we're not taught about energy. We're not taught about our soul. We're not taught about what we can do. We're taught standardized testing, and if you don't align to this specific number, you're not good enough. The whole system is so corrupt, and when you spiritually awaken, it's so hard to keep having to deal with this. It's so hard to look at your beautiful daughter in the face and say to her, this standardized test score means absolutely nothing throughout the course of your life or what your soul is and is capable of doing. Because all of her friends around her, all of her teachers, all of her principals, assistant principals, all of the neighborhood kids, their parents, they're not awakened either, and they see this number and they just hold on to it. Speaking of numbers, the credit scores, utter and complete nonsense. But of course, when you're spiritually awakened, you have to go along with it, even though you know it's complete and utter nonsense. I'm on a rant today because when you're spiritually awakened, it is so hard to sit back and keep participating in things that you're forced to participate in. I have to have a credit score. I don't get a choice, even though I know it's complete and utter garbage and complete and utter nonsense. So what I want to do in this episode is really talk about ways that we can overcome this, to calm ourselves, ground ourselves, and know that we're not crazy. The world is corrupt, and it was built on corruption. And when you spiritually awaken to that, it can be hard on your mental, emotional, even your physical health. And I want to have ways that we can, as a spiritual community, come together to help each other, to relax, to ground, to keep our sanity about us. I do have a free private Facebook group. I will link it down in the show notes, or if you're watching this in video format on YouTube, I'll put it down in the description. Anybody can join my private Facebook group where we talk all things spirituality, whether that's mediumship, psychic work, we talk about Reiki, and we talk a lot about healing ourselves, healing our limiting beliefs, our pain, our trauma. I am a spiritual mentor and coach, and I help you through those things. I'm also a holistic energy healer. What does that mean? It means that I help you to the root of your issues. I help you heal. I help you release. I help you move on, move forward. I can help you with your spiritual journey of mediumship, psychic, Akashic records, and so forth. But my main passion is helping you heal from these spiritual lies that we've been told, helping you know how strong and powerful you are, helping you heal those limiting beliefs around spirituality, around your soul, around yourself, any pain or trauma that you've gone through. And so you can join my private Facebook group and have a community of people that understand you, a community of people that will help you and guide you and be there with you. Because as somebody who's spiritually awoken and had not a single friend who knew what I was talking about, nobody in my family, it was so hard to be so alone, so isolated. And I don't want that to happen for you. So if you have spiritually awakened later in life like me, almost 40, you're welcome to join my private Facebook group. The only thing I ask is that you are respectful of others in the group and that you join for the right reasons, because you want to heal and grow and love and have a community with values and morals around building you up, making sure you feel safe. So anyway, one of the first things that I want to say is that having a community is really important, because you have people to talk to that understand. And when I first awoke, it was so hard to even process what I was going through. And I kept thinking I was crazy. I kept having these feelings arise in me saying, that's not true about things I would see. That doesn't make sense. Whereas before, I would just go along with it. I was in a bubble. I was in a cloud. Like a helmet was over my head, and I was just listening to and believing everything that was happening around me. And then when that helmet comes off, it's like you have breathed air for the very first time in your life. And nobody understands what that means or what you're going through or what you're even talking about. So finding a community, going online and sharing your stories, making videos. I know it's so hard. It was hard for me. But sharing your story and building a community, having a community, you're welcome and free to join mine. And just exploring what you're feeling and seeing and sensing and understanding, knowing that you're not crazy, knowing that you are just awakening to the truth of the world. Your soul is so much more powerful than you've ever been taught, that you've ever been told. We have been suppressed and suppressed and suppressed over thousands of years to believe things that are not true, because our power is inside of us. It's not outside of us. It's not outside in the other world around you. It's not outside in a religion, though I do love many aspects of religions. But the real, true value, power, strength, joy, happiness is inside of you. It's nowhere else. And so you're not going crazy. You're just awakening to the truth of the world. Another technique that I really like to help myself feel better is breath work, and doing that breath, breathing in that air. That air is life force energy. You are life force energy. Your soul is life force energy. Every cell in your body is life force energy. Reiki is life force energy. And so when you're breathing in air, you're breathing in more life force. And this is also something that you realize when you're spiritually awakened, is that your breath is life. You're breathing in life every time you breathe. We've never been taught how to breathe correctly and properly. Of course, your body is breathing all on its own. I don't have to think about breathing. I can go to sleep and my body will still survive and breathe automatically. I'm talking about breathing that life force energy all the way into the bottom of your stomach and all the way out. Deep, deep breaths, filling your lungs up so that your diaphragm moves your stomach down and out. Then letting that diaphragm come in and blow all that air back out, and doing it over and over again. Deep, deep, deep centering breaths. When you do this, you are connecting to the universe. The universe is you, it's me, it's in the air you breathe, it's in the thoughts you think. It's everywhere. Everything is the universe. And as you breathe in and breathe out very deeply, keeping your focus on your body, not the things around you that you cannot control, just on your body, you're connecting to the universe. And if you don't have a community to connect to, the best thing you can do is connect to the universe, understanding what life really is. There's so many times where I've done breathwork sessions at work. I'll have a bad day, something will happen, a client isn't happy with something I've done at my corporate job, and I'll close the door and just do a breathwork session, and I feel like I'm back in my body. I feel powerful. I feel confident. I feel in charge. I feel ready to tackle the next project that comes my way. And that's because as you're breathing in life force energy, the air, all the way in, filling your whole body, all the way out, letting out anything that doesn't belong there, anything that doesn't serve you. And you're connecting with the universe. You're feeling that connection. You're feeling that joy, that happiness, that positivity, that power in your body. And you know what the truth is. You know what lies are. You know who's lying to you, who's telling you the truth. You see things more clearly when you're doing that breath work of bringing in that universal life force energy that we all already have and are already a part of. But because you're focusing on bringing it in, you're focusing on your body and not the things outside of you in the outer world that are utter BS, like the credit scores. Don't get me going on credit scores. You start to feel so much better. And finally, one of the last things I want to talk about is protection, allowing yourself to be protected in your own energy. I know that it's so hard to live in a world where you know it's utter garbage, BS. Working 40 plus hours a week just to barely be able to survive, that's not real. That's nonsense. That's garbage. Our soul is so powerful and strong and mighty and capable. But we've not been told that. So we think, okay, 40-hour plus work week, killing yourself, stressing yourself, full of anxiety, driving in traffic. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Is to protect yourself. And there's many different ways that you can spiritually protect yourself. My favorite is the white light, imagining and envisioning a white light around my entire body. Bright, bright, bright white light. And envisioning anything that I don't want to be a part of, bouncing off this light and leaving me alone. And that works for me on so many levels, especially going into a grocery store where there's hundreds, thousands of people that have been in there and their energy is in there. I put up this white light of protection before I leave my house every single day, and I just feel so much better. I feel more protected. So when you're spiritually awakening, start off with this white light. Envision it around your whole body. Envision it protecting you, keeping you safe from outside energies that you don't want to be a part of. The next thing I want to say is, besides community, grounding, and protection comes you. You have to keep focused. You have to keep going. The world needs to awaken. And I wholeheartedly, with all my heart, believe that we are going through a huge mass awakening on this planet. And more people are going to awaken, but not if we are living in fear. Not if we awaken and say, oh, I cannot do this. You have to keep going, keep moving forward, because there is light at the end of this tunnel. That corruption is going to be gone. I know they don't want it to be, but it's going to be gone. You're going to see how powerful and strong you are, but you have to keep going. You have to keep healing yourself, healing your body, healing your life, healing your soul. If you need help with that, go on my website, soulcareintuitive.com. I have so many free things that will help you. Mini courses, master courses. You can even book a coaching call with me and I will help you through whatever you're going through right now. All of that is on my website. This is my passion. I love to help you heal. I love to help you keep going. I love to help you realize that your soul is so magical, more than you could ever possibly believe, but you have to keep going. You have to keep healing. You have to keep reaching for those stars. Even when you see that stupid credit score and you know it's garbage, keep going. Keep moving forward. When your friends, family, neighbors, coworkers don't understand, keep going. Find a community. Find yourself. Go inside. Go inward and know what the truth is for you, how you feel the truth, how you want to continue living and being. Don't recluse yourself back. under that helmet. Keep on going. The very last thing I want to say is you're going to start experiencing more negativity when you awaken. You're going to start seeing so many more acts of unkindness, if you will, evil, if you will, things that are not conducive to a happy, beautiful, magical soul. Why are you going to start experiencing that more? Because the helmet has come off. Because before, when you had that helmet on, you were living in the world blindly. And those things that were happening around you just seemed to be natural, to always happen. But when you take that helmet off, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to start seeing, quote, and experiencing more of that. In reality, it's not more, it's always been there, but you're awakened to it. You can see when somebody's being unkind and you know it in your soul because your soul understands energy. Your soul understands what's happening. When somebody cuts you off and then they flip you off, you can see they're angry. They need to heal. Don't honk back. Don't get mad. I know it's so hard. I know it is. I know. But you're going to start noticing that more. You're going to start noticing your corporate job, of the favoritism, of the backhanded ways, of the people who work so hard and get dumped on, while those who kiss up and do favors, if you will, get promotions, get to do and have whatever they want. You're going to start seeing more acts of unkindness. You're going to start seeing more acts of, quote, evil. You're going to start seeing more acts of people who are so unhealed and unhealthy in their soul and in their body that they have to use the outside world to feel better. How do they do that? Yelling, anger, trash talking, gossip. You're going to start seeing it more and more. And to that I say, don't let it stop you. Do not participate. Wish them well, wish them healing, send them off in love, be kind. The kinder you are, the more love you're spreading. And I believe with all my heart that every act of kindness, no matter how small or how grand, is affecting something somewhere in the cosmos. And the more love, the more kindness, the more light, the more joy, the more happiness that you are spreading, you are creating that energetic love, kindness, joy, light somewhere in the universe, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until the whole world is going to be full of this love and light and the corruption is gone. I know it's hard not to honk back. I know it's hard not to yell. I know it's hard to not get involved in the gossip at work. I know it's hard to not get involved when you can see outright lies. When your supervisor, your coworker, your mom, your cousin, your dad, your neighbor, when they're lying to you, but do not participate. Spread love, share love, be love. And the more you do that, the more you're going to create in the energy and the universe around us, and the more love and light that's going to come into our world to heal us all. I believe that with all of my heart. Thank you so much for being a part of the Soul Care Intuitive podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Grubbs, and I love being here with you. If you're watching on YouTube, please remember that everything you do to engage helps me so much. Leave me a comment, put a little emoji in the comments, leave me a like, leave me a review, anything you can to help me. I appreciate it truly. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave me that 5-star review. Every review helps me reach more people, and I appreciate it with every piece of my soul. Until the next podcast episode, I'll see you then.